Welcome, dolls and gents, to Doll After Dark. Now, if you've listened to the last episode, you may have some questions, you may have some doubts, you may have some concerns with some of the things that I discussed. But tonight, I have some company, and we're going to go over some things, from a different perspective, so that you don't have my things for hold on to alone. You get some feedback from some other people. I know I'm boring and thing, but we have some company to liven things up. First up, we're going to call our Teshea. Say hi, boo.
Hey.
And we're going to call our next guest, Kimmy. Hey, Kimmy.
Hi.
All right, guys. So I was just having a brief chat with Teshea just now, and I wanted to say, I don't want anyone to take from the last episode that I think that things are gonna go a specific way when you set your goals. Like if you set your goals, you're definitely gonna achieve them, right? So what are your thoughts on getting married and all of that stuff? Well, just to brief you, the last episode was about people who focus on getting married and having children ahead of setting life goals like getting emotionally intelligent and achieving your educational goals and being financially stable. What are you guys? Share your thoughts on all this. Who want to go first? Don't fight. Don't fight. Not all at once. Teshea, what do you have to say about that?
Sure. All right. So I totally agree with some points being made about preparing yourself for marriage, and that you should be able to have conversations, the things that you don't expect will happen, be prepared for them. I liked that part. I remember being 21 or being way younger and thinking, oh, I wanted to get married at 21. I actually had a dress which belonged to my aunt then.
Aww.
So this was my dress. I was going to get married at 21. I was going to have kids. I was going to have the house with the picket fences.
Sound familiar?
And yes, and all of that. Like, that was the young me. There was no thought of, apart from the fact that I wanted to be a nurse. That was the only other thing. I wanted to be a nurse, get married at 21, have my kids and my white picket fence and my nice husband.
Mm-hmm.
So, but as you get older, you start realizing that, okay, 21 came and went, and this isn't going to happen.
And you still not have a man.
You're still not ready for the marriage yet. Because
did you at least have a boyfriend though?
I had a high school boyfriend, but then after I felt like I was too young to be tied up, so I was living my best life in my early 20s.
First, she go from wanting to get married at 21. No,
young.
She's like, I'm too young to be tied up.
Like my early 20s, and I would implore anybody, like, your early 20s, the teens, the late teens, early 20s is when you get to explore, you get to make decisions, you get to make your mistakes, and then you learn from them. And then I feel like that kind of helped to mold the individual I am today.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, being young and wanting babies and family soon disappeared. I now wanted to do more. I wanted to travel more after my first trip. I wanted to experience different cultures, learn new things. And so I went to university.
But let me ask you this. How do you think your life would have been impacted have you had kids and got married at 21?
I feel like if I had done that, I would not have had the same experiences that I have now. That, I can have a conversation with my nephews or even my friends or even younger persons when we talk to share experiences. Not that I'm saying that kids are like, we used to set them style for you. But not in a negative way. But the truth is, when you have kids, your whole entire life changes. I am almost a mommy to my nephew. And so I understand fully what it means to be a parent when you have to think about their needs. When the emergencies happen, you can't just get up and leave. You have to emotionally prepare them for you not being here, even if it's going to be for a short period of time. They not wanting to leave them because what will happen. So, you don't have that get up your friend calling and say, hey, out to tomorrow. you can say, yeah, definitely. But when you have kids, it's not the same. And then you'd realize also that your friendships will change, because friends who have kids and friends who don't have kids, everything has to be planned and facilitated with the person who have kids. Okay, fine, we can do dinner and a movie, but when it comes on to, oh, let's go vacation like we normally do every year, it now becomes a different type of planning, because we can't do it close to September because it's back to school, or if it's graduation, the end of it. So have to be, you're not as free to just get up and go. So life does change. Here I am, almost 35, not the 21-year-old, and I'm getting married in 44 days.
Woo! Hear that? Whoa.
Is it a countdown?
Let the countdown begin.
It has been one of the most rewarding, nerve-wracking, exciting moments, because then you start to question yourself. I remember having a conversation with myself, and I was saying, boy, this is a commitment before not my friends and family only, but before God.
Don't cry.
To say I am literally giving myself to you,
somebody else.
To you, for me, improvement in oneself is a big thing for me. How do I better your life? I even asked him the question one day. We were talking, and I said to him, one of the things that you're going to be asking counseling is, why would you marry me? And it was kind of weird, because you tell somebody you love them, or he says I love you, and he'll say, when I said to him I love you, and he'll say I love you more. And that has always been his response. And coming from where we're coming from, it has been a long process to get here. Is actually, when I met him, he told me he wasn't interested or ever thought of getting married, and that's not where his headspace was. So the other day I asked him about it, because
how the tables turn.
Because I'm saying, like, you remember you told me that you don't want to get married. Are you sure this is really and truly what you want? And he was like, you wouldn't really understand. And I said to him, well, since I don't understand, it's a question, so I expect an answer. And we had a long conversation about how I just contributed to his life in a meaningful way, in terms of showing him, that pretty much nothing is ever too good for you, because you're always worth it. The encouragement, the never ending. I can be miserable, and
you are miserable.
We all are.
But I mean, for me, it's because he's kind of the person who you have to tell 4 or 5 times to say, hey, you need to get this done. I mean, even the wedding planning aspects of it, I'm literally doing this.
Oh, he's a man.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But I'm saying, if I have 98 things to do and you have 2 things to do, I have given him the task of finding our rings.
You have 100 things to do. You're just fooling yourself telling him he has 2 things to do.
He has the task of finding our rings, and that is one of the things I think he's probably more nervous about than I am. And I'm like, I'm not even going to be handling any of this. The second thing is that he has to get the measurements for his groomsmen and for himself. And legit, it took me a month to get his measurement to get his suit, and I'm still waiting on the measurement for the groomsmen. Wow. So it goes back to the point of when earlier in the podcast, when you spoke about being ready to deal with the things that you don't want to deal with, or how would you handle certain situations. I'm learning that not everybody he doesn't react the same way I do to things.
Right.
And the urgency that I place on things and get it done. He is the more relaxed type that you have to say, I'm done talking about this, and this is the last time I'm having this conversation and I'm done. No, when I say that, he knows that I'm really serious and I'm not going to talk about it again. So if he wants to show up in sackcloth, that's his business.
But wedding planning aside, do you think you are ready? Can you say with your heart that, you know what, I've been with this man for long enough, we know each other well enough, we've achieved a certain level of things, and I'm at a comfortable place where I know I am ready to commit and get married to this person?
I am. As I said, I've had a conversation with myself multiple times because I feel like this is serious and is not just one person or you're thinking about is us. But I want to say that it's not, we already know to take the step, but I think it is easier said than done because the real challenge happens when you're in the situation and it's just you and I. There is no one else to say, have an input, and you have to work through your issues. So apart from being ready, no, you have to always be ready for the rest of your life as long as you decide that this is really what you want, because there are going to be there is always going to be situations and challenges that will challenge your relationship
and challenge your mental state as well.
Oh my God, yes, definitely. When it comes on to family, friends, it's a big adjustment. You no longer can just get up and say, oh babes, I soon coming here and going down the road and think it's a conversation. How do you feel about this? This is what I was thinking. What are your thoughts on this? Or do you have an issue with this? Not like you're saying you're asking for permission, but I firmly believe in having a conversation, because the things that to me may be very simple, and because we don't live together at this stage, I'm really up and about. I get up, I go. I don't need to
need to answer to no why.
Exactly.
Wow, right?
And I feel like being a strong-willed individual, female who has always been independent.
Strong-willed is a euphemism for stubborn?
No, but I just feel like being the kind of person I am, it has always been, I don't need your permission too, and I'm not seeking his permission, and I've made it absolutely clear that it's out of respect, because I believe that there needs to be respect in any relationship. If this is who I'm going to be spending the rest of my life with, then I'm looking forward to the teething pains to see how adjustment will be when I'm in your space 24 hours and you're in my space 24 hours, to see how we will adjust to me liking not even one speck in the face basin, and you're fine with just going. The simple things. I'll cook, but I don't like to wash up. So am I going to cook and you're going to clean up? There has to be some kind
compromise.
Of compromise and that type of thing. But I'm ready. I am mentally ready.
She's ready, guys. But before we go, we want to hear a little bit from Kimberly. And just maybe we'll have to do a part 3, but I want to hear a little bit of what Kimberly has to say on the whole aspect of planning to get married, and kind of achieving certain things before you actually take that huge step. Kimberly.
All right, so my perspective isn't exactly the same as Letitia's. I firmly believe that there are different types of people in the world. So there are some persons that are more focused on, at the time, most of their focus is on achieving things outside of family. So they want to get a higher education, they want to establish themselves somewhere in the workplace, they may want to make a certain amount of money. Whatever the case may be, you have people like that. But then you also have another set of people where if they had to choose between advancing their education and advancing in the workplace and having a family, it's a no-brainer.
All right, so which one of those are you?
And I am the latter. I genuinely have right now. So if I were to get married as opposed to doing my master's, I'd get married and have children. I don't know. I just feel like there are people that have different purposes. I know some persons may think of it as, oh, you don't have ambition and blah, blah, blah. No. I have ambition. It's just not focused in the area that you want it to be focused in. I feel like I can make a small but impactful difference if I have a family and I raise my children well. That's just my perspective.
All right, so we've heard from two sides of the spectrum, and I like it, and I want to talk more about this, but we're kind of out of time. So guys, I don't know, let me know if you want to hear a part 3 and also get the guys' perspective on this. Follow, like, share, comment, Doll After Dark on Instagram, Doll After Dark on YouTube. Don't sleep. Let me know what you thought about what Letitia said, what Kimberly said, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thank you for listening.
Later. Conversation.
Sure, the people.